Okay, that's the top of the hour. So, let me turn down the game volume a bit. It's rather loud. Okay, so I could turn down my gain a little bit on this microphone. Seems like I'm peaking it a bit. Okay, that should be good. This week we are going to be playing Guild of Dungeoneering. It's a roguelike or roguelite. It's an interesting game. We'll start new. I've never played a lot of this, but I've played some a couple of times.
This is the Guild of Dungeoneering. All across the land they're cheering, oh, to be a Dungeoneer, chasing fame and glory.
And that is one of the reasons I love it. The bard, just the music and the bard are so much fun to have them chiming in at times. But this is essentially a game... Wow, I am still peaking that microphone, huh? Should be alright. It looks like it was a one-time peak. So the concept of this game is that you are running a guild and sending Dungeoneers out to explore dungeons, right? Those Dungeoneers will have permadeath, but that doesn't matter to me because I'm simply the guild manager or the guild master. So there is some story to it as well. The Ivory League of Explorers, the noblest and most virtuous guild in the land. Those insufferable jerks. I'll show them. They won't think me so grossly incompetent when I have my own guild. I've bought a small hall in the bad part of town with the gold I borrowed from them. I've staked out a dungeon that's ripe for the picking. I've even found a chump who can do all the dirty work while I sit back and watch the coins roll in. Like my father always told me, there's always someone stupider than yourself. Well, he never really said it to me. Actually, he said it to everyone but me. Hey, wait a minute. So this is the guild. So we're going to have to build. We're going to have to build up the guild, and the rooms that we place.
The one that's always left behind, the solitary lump, the pawn who's fodder for the grind, the sorry little chump.
So the rooms that we place will dictate which classes are available, as well as some other effects, equipment that's available, starting buffs. I'm not going to spend time customizing my Dungeoneers because they will die. Yes, that's my chump. As a quick note, the game does have some difficulty modifiers. I'm going to have the +1 health on, as well as the 5 times gold limit. Both of these, the health will come up at times and it's useful. I'm keeping it enabled just for making sure that the stream is actually going to be something worth watching rather than having me beat my face against a wall, essentially. And the gold limit, each dungeon that you enter essentially limits how much gold you can gain from it. increasing that limit means that I hopefully will be able to show off a bit more. But so we've seen you build out your guild, and then, as we're seeing here, you head out to dungeons and take the characters that you've recruited with you. Once I've got some rooms, I will be able to choose one blessing that I take into the dungeon. I can't lose that blessing overall, but early on the blessings will be something that only lasts for a temporary amount of time. Just a little boost to get you started on a dungeon, right? We don't need to play the tutorial here. Also, I am going to turn down the sound a bit, I think. I'll leave the bard up. Okay, so within dungeons, also you can see this here is the gold limit for this dungeon. If I didn't have the 5 times boost on this, it would be, what, 15? I think? Yeah.
Oh.
So you can get gold for exploring the map, which is entering, I believe, it's either entering or placing room tiles, killing monsters, and looting. So the Dungeoneer, actual dungeon parts are split into 2 sort of sections. First is placing cards. As you can see, that's 3. You can place 3 cards per turn. There are rooms, enemies, and treasure. And once that's done, your character will move by itself. It will follow several pieces of logic. I believe treasure is the highest priority. If there's higher value treasure, it will prioritize that. Then I believe it's unexplored rooms, and then enemies, I think. I don't know, I can't remember if enemies are actually a priority or if it ignores them and just stays still or something like that. But the character moves by themselves, so you're building the dungeon for them and hoping to guide them. Then, once you encounter an enemy, you get into combat. Combat is card-based. Each card will have effects, and you can see the card your enemy is about to play. So, right now we can see the enemy has Bite. 1 physical damage, so red damage is physical, blue damage is magical. That's as simple as that. So 1 physical damage, unblockable. So Cower is block 1 of any. It's both red and blue, so it can block physical or magic, but Bite is unblockable, so I can't block it, right? So I'm just going to Lucky here. Deals 2 damage, it's a better option than dealing 1 damage. And now I will have to deal 1 damage because, again, they are biting and I cannot block. So it's that simple, really. Okay, neurotoxins, fun from the nasty rash. If successful. So that's an important key where some cards will say, if successful, do this. That means if it deals damage. So I can throw a Cower at this and it blocks it, I don't have to discard. Also, every turn I draw 1 card. My deck is now empty, but it will shuffle and refill. And I've won this fight very easily. After each battle... Hello. Andrew, I believe. I believe that was... this is your name on Twitch, right? Yes, okay. I actually remembered something for once. We are just getting started and going through explanations of how all the game works. Good to have you here with us. So, we've just cleared the first combat, and after combat, you are given 4 options, or a few options. It won't always be the same number, but you'll be given a few pieces of equipment that you can choose from, or you can skip them and just gain gold. Taking the equipment can still give you gold value, I believe. I believe if you replace it, you get the gold value. But each piece of equipment has its own effects. So we can see the cuppa. That's an offhand item, as you can tell by the symbol on the bottom of the card. So this gives me a single card added to my deck, which deals 2 magical damage. The wooden stool does a whole lot. It gives me stupidity +1, crush +1, armor +1. Stupidity gives me a blank card. Crush gives me a bit of physical damage, a bit of physical defense. Armor gives me a lot of physical defense. And the straitjacket just gives me 1 health. Now, important thing to understand is when, let's say the cuppa, for example, says fire +1 on its card, and it shows me fire blast. It doesn't, this cuppa doesn't give me fire blast. It adds 1 to my fire skill. And level 1 of the fire skill is Fire Blast. I can't mouse over it, but at the bottom of the Fire Blast card you can see it says Fire 1. So if I get multiple things that give me fire, I will get more and more powerful skills from them. Now, I am going to take the wooden stool. Stupidity is an unfortunate card, but the defensive options are valuable, especially early on when you've got minimal value. Now, with moving in the dungeon, I believe your Dungeoneer can move 2 tiles unless one of them is unexplored, in which case they will stop at the unexplored tile. That's unfortunate. Okay, the enemy has drawn neurotoxin, so they're going to make me discard, and I've got no defense cards in hand. But I'm only discarding a single damage punch. It's fine. The real misfortune with it is I now only have 2 cards to choose from for this battle. Okay. I guess this is a decent place to show off another feature. I only have block cards in my hand. The enemy has drawn an unblockable attack. Favor is a thing that exists, and you can collect it by entering rooms which have a rune on them. So that's rooms with an M for mouse, which contain runes with an N for nice. Because that helps. So you can spend this favor on the mechanics down the bottom. Draw lets you draw a card, block lets you block damage, and sabotage forces the enemy to discard their current card, but I believe they do immediately draw another one. So that's essentially just, this is a bad scene, get me out, see what else they're going to do. But I'm going to go for the draw, and I drew stupidity anyway. you have to play a card, no matter what. So if no matter what I play it's going to do nothing, I might as well play Stupidity. Oh, come on. I'm not too concerned here, because the rash is down to 1 health, so as long as I draw any damage, there it is. Now, the enemy does act first. So, if I went down, if we were both on 1 health and we both played a card that was just deal 1 damage, I would lose. But, you know, that's fine. I would have died on that fight if I didn't have the +1 health thing enabled. So, loot available here. We've seen the cover already. The newspaper hat gives me an extra Stupidity. I believe Stupidity leveling up only adds an extra blank card each time. I don't believe it ever adds anything worse than that. But this adds a blank card, but it gives you 2 passive effects. +1 starting hand size in battle, by default, and +1 starting hand size if you have favour. I just spent my favour, but I've also picked another up from this room, so it would increase my hand size to 5. It would add another Stupidity to the deck, but it would be an extra 2 cards, right? And then there's the Pigeon Nest with Growth, which deals magic damage and heals. There's a little coup down the bottom here. Each card has a little comment down the bottom. So here I am going to go for the Pigeon Nest. Basically... Oh, that was a bad decision. I am a bit concerned about the unblockable attacks, so getting some healing will give me a bit more support for those cases. As for why I said that was a bad decision, placing that room there, when you place a room, every door, or rather, when you place something, a room adjacent to another room, any door must be connected. So, this dungeon's quest is to kill the Ratman, and I just made it difficult to get at one of the entrances there because I need a room with exits on the top, bottom, and left. Now then, zombies. They have a special trait called Decay. If they take 2 or more damage in 1 turn, they take an extra. So they've got a lot of health, but they take an extra beating if they take damage. You may have noticed Headbutt deals 1... it deals 1 damage back to itself, back to the user. So it deals 2 to me, but it takes 1. If I deal 1 damage while it takes 1 from its own, that's 2 damage in the turn and it activates Decay. That's unfortunate. Okay, we're breaking even for this turn it seems, because that's magic damage, I can't block it, so they're getting a heal, but I'm also getting a heal. I will just repel this. So that... Okay. Example of why what I did was right there. Repel gives 3 block. Anger only dealt 1 damage, but it was 3 physical block. I didn't want to use Cower because they've now drawn Drain, which does magical damage, so I can use my Cower on that. Okay, I'm surviving here. The enemy can also get block on their cards. If I used Bash, I would take 1, the enemy would take none, because magical damage is not blocked by physical block. Lucky Hit will break through their defense and get the kill though. Just barely, but I go back to full health after each fight, so it's fine. This is fun. So Scoop gives me Swift and Arcane, both of which are going to give me options to draw, and the Swift card there, Shift, gives or has an effect which is quick, meaning I would attack first when I play that card. The Ski Pole prevents me from playing or using Fate, or Favor rather, but it gives me a bit of health and an attack option. The Club gives me more growth and more Crush, which pairs with the Pigeon Nest and the Barstool. So here we can see for the first time what getting more of a skill does. We can see Growth 2. This adds an extra card, so this does not replace Growth 1's card, it just adds another. So this would deal 1 magical damage, heal me for 2 on success. Slam, the Crush 2 card, deals 2 physical damage and is unblockable. So the Scoop could be fun, but the Club is also very useful because it brings 2 of my skills up. And we can... got that. And we can see down here what skills I have. So I've got Crush 2, Growth 2, Stupidity 1, Armor 1. Another thing is the character does have their own levels. You start at level 1 when you enter a dungeon. I believe it resets when a character leaves a dungeon as well. So I believe it always starts at level 1. And then when you defeat something that is equal to or higher than your level, the character gains a level. Fighting something that is higher than your level is quite challenging. Basically, the only way I think I would have a chance at doing that sort of thing would be if I were to get to level 2, fight a bunch of level 1 things until I've got decent equipment, and then fight a level 3 thing. That's how I would fight something above my level. Because level differences are scary. I'll leave it at that. I don't need to play an extra room. Or I don't think I can play an extra room. Yeah, this game is not an easy one. Also, of note here. Restore is deal 1 damage if successful, heal 2. I currently am at full health. I will lose 1 from Bite, but let's do a quick check. 2, 4, 6, 8 health. If I use Restore, I have gained an extra heart. Healing in this game is not limited by your health. You can get more. It's fun, but it can be so complicated. Especially against enemies who like to heal. Because if you can't outpace their healing, it becomes a problem. Like, if you spend a few turns against an enemy that keeps healing, where you're only drawing defensive cards, they're going to have a lot of health. It's something you have to be aware of. Okay, so this situation we've got. I don't have chest armor or body armor, but I have every other equipment slot filled, and those are the options. The options we have available are only the filled spaces. So if I were to take any of these, it would replace the thing that it's showing on the bottom and give me what's on top. I don't think I want to do that. So what I'm going to do is instead skip. That will give me treasure into my hand. I will have to play this treasure for the character to pick up, right? You can see while I'm dragging this around, they're going to change their priority based on where it is. Because they're greedy, they want to go get the loot. And I will allow that of them. Put down that room as well, just in case, but... So I am delaying the quest a little bit here, because I do want to get some more gold, just to make sure I can try and build something once we finish this dungeon. I won't sit around and grind out this the gold. Like, if I were playing on my own time, I would absolutely wander back and forth until I'm at 75 gold out of to take home. But we're streaming. That's the priority isn't just being efficient, it's progressing and showing stuff off, right? Finally, some body armor, but it's +1 health and +1 stupidity. I don't want more stupidity. Okay, none of these options is good, so I'm going to skip again. Now, you can see the path that the Dungeoneer will follow is a nice dark blue, and then it's a bit fainter as it continues on, so they can only travel 2 rooms at a time. So if I were to put this here, they'll be able to reach that because it's 2 rooms away, and the loot there will draw them to that room. The cards I have in hand at the moment also show the some fountains. So when I place these, there is now a fountain in that room. If I go there, the fountain will give me either a buff or a debuff, a boon or a bane. I can't remember if that's decided when the fountain is placed or when you visit it. But we're probably not going to go visit that fountain. I think it's about time that we just go up and fight the Ratman. Get this quest done with. Are any of these good? Yes, the scarf goes into an empty slot and it gives me Holy One, which blocks 1 of anything and heals me if it blocks anything. Very nice indeed. Now I am going to keep fighting along the way because I can only travel 1 room at a time through unexplored rooms, so I might as well get some benefits for it, right? Oh yeah, okay, so we just saw briefly there that the fountains are chosen when I place them. So if I opt to avoid entering a fountain, I can avoid debuffs from it, because I can see it coming. I can't always say, well, I'm just going to avoid that one. Pixels, hello, thank you for the lurk. And I didn't fix the lurk I forgot to fix the lurk command. I will hopefully remember to do that at the end of this stream. Still don't want any of these. So, but this fountain's not too far out of the way, so let's show it off. This one is the Fountain of Power. The hero's unblockable attacks gain 1 magical damage in the next fight. I don't think I have any unblockable... Oh no, I have 1 unblockable attack. So, the Crush 2 unblockable will instead deal 2 physical, 1 magic. Please block Neurotoxin, I don't want to discard things. Being forced to discard is so unpleasant. I never approve of it. Just options are always very important to me. Because I'm bad at games and I need more options to save me. So having the enemy force me to discard is just terrifying. I still don't want any of these. And I can now get in there and fight the Rat Man. So the Rat Man is probably going to be a bit tougher than the zombie we fought earlier. Because it's the quest objective here. But we'll make it out fine. I mean, they have Armed 3. They have some powerful stuff. But I think we'll manage. It'll be real embarrassing if we don't. I mean, I say it will be embarrassing, but also I know this game. I know I'm bad at it. I expect to die. Like, there will be times where I'm just not going to win. In this case, this is the tutorial dungeon. It's sort of meant to get you...
Well now, this is just really quite surprising. Thanks to you, I've lost a wager. Against all odds, you're surviving. Next time, I hope you find more danger.
Yeah, so that dungeon's really just meant to get you used to the game. So, it shows a breakdown of the gold that we've gained. Finishing the quest gave us 50, and then all the loot I've picked up totaled to 21. Rooms I placed down was for 16. I could have placed some more and gotten more gold, I guess. And killing monsters gives you gold value as well, so you want to keep killing. Like, you want to have one fight every turn if possible. So, we've collected 98 gold from that dungeon. A lot more than it should have been possible to get. Like, I've got these buffs on again, so I should have only been able to get 15 plus the 50 from the quest. So 65 should have been the limit. Instead, I got 98. So now we can expand the guild. 3 different options or sections: Dungeoneers, Blessings, and Loot. Dungeoneers change what classes you can, or give you extra classes you can take. So at the moment we can only take from the top row of each. There's Cat Burglar, Bruiser, Mime, Apprentice. One of these things is not like the other, and also the Cat Burglar isn't what you'd expect either. Nothing is what you expect with this game, to be fair. Blessings are little buffs early on. Actually, I believe I can click on them and show. So, for example, Trickster's Favour. +1 loot choice for the first 2 fights. So these give you a little extra buff early on. If you reach the second tier, you can have a permanent version of that buff. If you reach the third tier, you also get a bit more of a buff, right? Okay, so you can choose one blessing for each dungeon that you enter. And then there's loot. These don't let you start with a piece of equipment. They add options to what can show up. So if I were to get the blacksmith, all of these pieces of equipment could show up as options in the dungeons. What I'm going to do, I'm thinking +1 health and hand size. See, getting a blessing is very useful because it's like it doesn't wear off or anything. You can always bring that blessing into a dungeon. It wears off within that dungeon, but every time you enter a dungeon you can take it with you. So that's just a flat bonus to every dungeon to get them started quicker. On the other hand, I could get a bruiser who is just better than the chump. The chump starting class is bad. They are not good. They are a chump. So I could go for Bruiser. Let's also show Bruiser has an innate trait of Spiky. If you fully block damage, deal 1 back. The Mime is fun. I like the Mime. They mostly do magic, but they also do buffs of both magic and physical, and they've got a little bit of physical damage. So they do fun things, but their special trait, if you fully block an attack, clone the monster's played card. That's a fun one. Mostly when you get monsters that do weird things, like big things of like deal 1 damage, but block 3 physical. If I just get 1 physical block, I've gained a huge block. Like, it's great. The Apprentice just does magic stuff. Intuition can be useful. Start with Fire +1 and Arcane +1. So, yeah, they do a lot of magic stuff, right? And the Cat Burglar. Pounce, scratch, throw cat, catnip. They, as I said, it is not what you expect. +1 loot choice slot that is +1 level as their trait, so normally if you fight a level 1 enemy, the loot they drop will be level 1, right? This way, if you fight a level 1 enemy, there'll be 1 choice that is level 2. That can be quite useful. They have no defense though, right? No defense, no option for drawing cards. Like they've got healing, and at the same time that healing also buffs their next attack. I'm going to go with the Bruiser. Yeah. So I buy the card and then I have to place it somewhere. I can place it anywhere in the dungeon so long... Oh, not dungeon, the guild. So long as it connects to a room. I like to have...
Not a gentle kind of Dungeoneer, nor a poet or a muser, but one that fills the heart with fear. I give to you the Bruiser.
So, I like to have some organisation to the way I build the guild. So I'll build classrooms on the left, other rooms generally on the right. I'll probably use the center as the blessings, and then equipment on the right. I also want to check if subtitles are not an option. If I had collected another 2 gold from that first dungeon, I could have built a blessing as well, but that's fine. Oops. Go exploring. So, we have finished the first quest in this dungeon. We cannot go back and do it again. So you can't just go back into a dungeon over and over and get more gold. That is why I play with the 5 times gold limit. It's also why when I play on my own time, I grind out every bit of gold I can from every dungeon. Still, we're not doing that today. Time to go defeat the Rat King, and we're taking the Bruiser with us this time. Squeak. So, the Rat King is a boss monster. He is level 3, 7 health, feral 3, armed 3, irritable 3. And he has the leader trait, +1 health for each surrounding minion. I think that's only the 4 the cardinal directions, cardinally adjacent to I don't believe diagonal adjacency counts, but I will go kill this Ratman anyway, just in case. Because why would I not? Putting that fountain there was a bit of a dangerous choice. If that had come up as a red fountain, it would have been a debuff, and I would have had no way to avoid it. But, you know, whatever. I am stupid and bold. You what? Let's block this. Let's not have to discard things, thank you very much. So one of the reasons I like the Bruiser is this spiky trait. I tend to play quite defensively in games like this, and having the spiky effect just means I can play defensively and also get that get some damage going still. Ruffled shirt. Swift is a very good. Swift is a skill that I am very fond of, because getting the first hit in can save your life at times. If it's down to the wire, you want to have a quick attack, because the enemy acts first. It's bad times for you. Let's put a Ratman there. Let's put this here, and I can't put that anywhere. Well, I could put it up here. Might as well place cards as much as possible. I've got no physical defense. Looks like I'm going to be discarding something. Hopefully I'd discard the magical block, because the rat doesn't do magic damage. Oi. Unfortunate, but we'll manage. Oh, come on. Rat probably won't be much of an issue, right? It's a level 1 monster, it's going to be a simple fight. And Swift gets the kill. I have to hope, though, that I'm not rushing too much by going for a level 2 enemy right away. A Ratman could be strong, could be very dangerous. Swift... do I want Swift 2 here? I think I might want the Paper Crown instead. So Swift 2 isn't amazing unless there are enemies dealing magical damage. I don't believe Ratmen do magic damage. So like, basically that's just an extra 1 damage quick attack, right? Above Swift 2 it starts getting good. The Paper Crown gives me a bit more blocking option and some healing, so I'll go for that. Yes. So I can take as long as I want before I go fight the Rat King. Like, really as long as I want. I won't dawdle too much, but I'll try and get like a full set of level 2 equipment because it is a boss, no matter what. So I'm going to fight a few Ratmen, it seems. I think I just take that hit. I want to save my physical block for bigger hits. Can't block anyway, so I just hit him. Like that. And the Ratman dies to Spiky. Lovely. Heck no. Stupidity 2 is awful news. That would give me more Swift though. That could be good. If I can... So that, the Stiletto is a weapon, so I can't pair that with the Rapier. But if I can get an offhand that will give me more Swift, which I don't know if exists right now, but if I can get above Swift 2, I'd be happy. I don't want to connect that yet. So let's just put another Ratman down here. And let's put a room in as well. Add another one just for the exploration money. Two damage, go, go. I don't have physical block, I guess. So it's fine that the the quick card was discarded there. It's a sort of, how do I even as far as I understand, a card being quick isn't that important unless you're on the brink of death. Anchor is a good weapon because it gives 2 of a single skill, so it really plays in well if you're collecting stuff that does crush. I'm not though. I don't really want to replace my Stiletto, so I guess I'm skipping. Oi! I mean, squeak. Yes. I want to fight both of them eventually anyway. Put that guy there. So we'll get rid of this guy and see if the Rat King drops below 7 health. I don't believe it will, because I'm pretty sure diagonal adjacency is not adjacent for those for that sort of effect. Ooh, how rude. I should have kept my unblockable attack for that. Oh. One unblockable, huh? Okay, if I do get out of here in this case. Okay, I win this. Wouldn't have mattered even if I didn't use the quick there, but if the enemy had drawn a 2 damage attack, that quick would have been necessary to keep me alive. Okay, looks like I'm taking the glyph. It gets me a 2nd level of Holy. Arcane 1 isn't bad. Yeah, like this. It's not bad. It's not adding to something I was already building up. But, ooh. Did I just see him lose a heart? No, he's still got 7. Unless the leader only applies after the fight starts? Oh, I don't know, whatever. Just going to keep placing rooms so that I collect more gold. Let's throw enemies around just in case. So I'm dawdling some, yes. The Rat King is a dangerous opponent. It's a boss, right? I can't just rush into that fight and assume I'll be fine. I'm not making a lot of progress here, but I want to make sure that I at least try to get a decent set of equipment, because if I don't, then the fight will be that much harder. I probably won't dawdle around for too long. No. Oh, that gives more Swift. Yeah, okay. Swift and Blade, both of which I have some of. So you can see here Swift 3 does good damage, is unblockable, and is quick. Blade 2 is also really nice. It deals 1 damage, and if it hits, it applies decay to the enemy for 3 rounds. Decay being the effect we saw on the zombie earlier, of if they take 2 damage in 1 turn, they take an extra. Sparkly Headband is Holy and Fire. It's a flat upgrade to the Holy Crown, but also Hook is just what I want right now. It matches my build. I'll scatter some treasure around, throw a dead end room up there. So I think at this point, I'm probably comfortable with fighting the boss. Let's throw an unblockable hit in there. So now it's a matter of getting a room that will actually connect to it. That's that's going to be something that has at least top right and bottom sides with doors. Just slice them up a bit. And there we go. So if whether or not the left side door of the room I get connects won't matter. And I've had cards like that before, but I've left it unconnected because I didn't want the character to just run into the boss like some sort of goon. Because it is a goon. He's a stupid goon idiot. So it might take me a little bit of time to actually get there, but we'll get there eventually. And the longer it takes, the more gold I'm going to get, right? So I'll be able to build more. Let's block that. I don't want to loiter around for gold. I'll delay it for cases where it's it's important to actually strengthen up, but just for... I could throw a fountain in front of the boss room. If that's a debuff, I would have the debuff when fighting the boss. It would be basically unavoidable. If it's a buff, I'd get the buff. But if it's a debuff, I would probably be screwed. So I'm going to throw a regular room in there. And you can't pass through unexplored rooms, so might as well have a fight in there. Get out of here, nasty rat. Yeah, so I'm taking the cautious approach here. The Gamba option would have been to throw that fountain down, but it could have been a bad time, so I didn't. I don't want anything that's just level 1, thank you very much. You're going through that room, okay, fine. Might as well have some treasure there. I will keep putting rooms down, just for the sake of extra money from it. I'm hoping that I will get enough money so that I can show off various things in the stream today, so that I can give this game proper value, like actually display what it does. I didn't even pay attention to the fact that they had block there, but I win anyway. I could have blocked even. Super overkill there. I don't want any of this. Put treasure on there. Just slap a room down. Now, if I were to put gold here, I believe the goon would stop there. Let's test that out. Does the goon stop to pick up the gold? I believe so. Yes, okay. That is fine because I can just slap another room down and hit end turn. But yeah, I really like this game. I haven't played massive amounts of it, but I do like it quite a bit, and because of that, I want to show off what it's got available. I want people to see. I want people to see that this is a good game and actually consider getting it for themselves. Get out here with that. And yet again, nothing I want. That sparkly headband could have been an option to take at some point, but the hook was just too good to turn up. I actually wound up getting pretty close to maximum gold from this one because I'm far too cautious. I would like to not discard, thank you. Now I am going to apply dice right away. I don't know. Hey, okay. So their self-damage before I applied decay did count for the decay's 2+. Which is real nice, because now decay just kills the boss. I was way too scared. Like, I was far more scared than I had any.
This is really just quite surprising. Aren't Dungeoneers just cannon fodder? But against all odds, they keep surviving. They're so dumb. Why even bother?
So, having cleared that dungeon, we got a nice hefty sum of gold, as well as various bonuses. The Trophy Room, the Fire Lord Dungeon, a Victimless Crime Dungeon, Goblins Dungeon, Oriri, the bruiser here, has gained a victory trait, Mystical. Start with Arcane +1. That's not useful. I mean, it is, but it's not ideal for a bruiser. Still, it's something. I believe, actually, Arcane 1 has Draw, I believe. So, that is actually useful. Okay. And there's also the Rat King's Tail, which is a trophy to go in the trophy room. Let's slap that down in the middle here. And open it up so we can see the Rat King's Tail here. That's all that does. There's also the diary. We've already read this entry, there's no extra entry available. This is a big room. I imagine there will be some big trophies, or just lots of trophies. But for the moment, we've got enough gold for 3 more rooms. So unlocking tier 2, tier 2 things, rooms are very expensive, but also they require you have a couple of 2 tier 1 unlocks and the one above. So if I were to buy another Dungeoneer, the campsite for the Barbarian would be a potential option. Actually, I think for Dungeoneers you can get them without having the one above, and it's just, I think it's blessings and loot that you need to have the one above, because these are actually improved versions. So I think what I'm going to do is go for Trickster's Favor as a blessing. Talisman of the Trickster is available. There's no room for that. And then let's get a loot room as well. Let's go with the Blacksmith. And slap that down on the right there. So that gives us a selection of new loot, and I just like the Mime class.
Is there anything that's more soul-destroying than having to rhyme all the time? There's only one thing perhaps more annoying, and that would be an insufferable mime.
And there we have it. The theatre. Powerful wizards practice generating force fields and walking against summoned wind. Powerful wizards indeed.
What's this? There's more? A whole world to explore? Why, there's gold to be found and treasure in store. But what's the point? You're all hit and miss. It's so plain to see. You're not cut out for this.
Ugh, if I never hear another story about clearing out rats, it won't be too soon. My minions, employees, did return with some interesting rumours from the Rat King though. There was mention of a magic orb, an orb of nosiness. It's exactly the kind of thing I could use to keep an eye on the Ivory League. I'll need all the help I can get if I'm going to take them down a peg. The rumours point to more dungeons, out in the grasslands. I'll search there first. Ha, what am I saying? I'm not stepping foot in the place. That's what I have chumps for. And if they don't want to do it, there's plenty more who are eager to join a guild. I've also decided that from now on we'll be known as the Guild of Dungeoneering. Either that or the Guild of the Ivory League Explorers is stupid. Can't decide which will look better on our letterhead. So, clearing that dungeon has opened up 3 new dungeons, each with a different theme. The Fire Lord adventure has a lot of fire-themed things. I believe it's quite magic-themed. Goblins, I think, is more physical-themed, and then a victimless crime. I can't remember if there's a damage, like an elemental theme for this one. We'll show them all off eventually, but for now, let's go to the Fiery Foray. Scope out Embro's defense. What are you doing in my evil entrance hall? Well, my imps will make short work of you. So I just have to defeat 3 monsters. That's all it'll take to win this dungeon. Let's start by placing some anything I can access, really. So a spider is a bit of a scary level 1 monster to be fighting. It'll be fine. They have frail. Incoming physical damage, physical attacks rather, deal +1 damage. Yeah, that's going to be nasty. At the moment, they've got good physical blocks, so I don't want to use that. And this is what comes up when my attacks force an enemy to discard. I pick one of the 2 to discard, the other will be their next card. So I think I get rid of Drain here. Imaginary Cannon it is, because I still have no magic block and they're blocking physical stuff. Yeah, Bullhorns, go ahead. I full blocked, so I get a copy of the Claw into my hand. It's not an amazing card, so I'm not going to need it, really. But I can kill them with it, just for the insult. Add insult to injury by killing them with their own card. 1 health and stupidity. Holy stupidity, but wise and fate charged, or straitjacket. Let's go with the scarf. Things I typically feel like things which give an actual stat are more appealing to me than just... Oh god. Either of these could kill me. Let's go for the zombie. Things that give me an actual skill I generally find more appealing than just plus health. The passive effects can be good, but stupidity is a nasty thing. Let's block some of this damage. Oof. Okay. Let's block a bit. And I'm building up a physical... okay, Holy Seal. I'm building up physical damage. That will last until I'm hit with a physical attack in this fight. So it will go away when this fight ends. Let's block that. Full block gets me a copy of the card. Having more options is always nice. Oh, now I've got no magic damage to block that. Or magic defense, rather. But we can at least negate the healing and get a discard so it doesn't do it again. More discard. Yeah, no headbutt, thanks. Block physical, deal some magical. And now they're just one hit away, so unblockable. Okay. Armor 2 from the stalagmite could be nice, but I think I've got decent defense for now. I'm going to go for the sparkly headband. There is a level 3 bandit that I could get and fight right now, but the bandit has claustrophobia. -2 health if in a dead end. This is a dead end room, so that'll go down to 5 health. And I'll just fight another zombie on the way. Fighting a level 3 could also be kind of dangerous when I only have 2 pieces of equipment. Yes, please block that. And get me a copy, very nice. 2 physical damage. I can't full block it, so I'm just going to heal one and make sure I also decay them of some. I don't have 2 magic defense. I can copycat and buff up my next physical attack some though. Let's keep looking. Let's get rid of the spook. I actually should have let them keep the spook, because I'm going to block and hit with this anyway. Okay, so my next physical attack does +1. They're taking 1 right now, so if I use a magic attack, like if I use no, I want to make sure I've got that for finishing. Well, hang on. That would deal 2, they'd take an extra, so that's 3, then decay would deal 4, and then even if I just use bullhorns, I think they still go to 1 health here, so that's fine. Yes. And then I can just imaginary cannon them.
A rather entertaining display of courage and brutality, but in the long term, will it outweigh a Dungeoneer's mortality?
So, normally 5 for each thing is the maximum value that that these early quests can give. So, fight 3 enemies and the quest ends actually does work out as being close to the maximum value. If he picked up that piece of loot there at his feet before ending the quest, it would have been, actually, but still, with the big buff, if I want to maximum gold, if I wanted to actually milk this out for everything it had, I would have had to just not fight anything and wander back and forth in an empty hallway while just constantly adding more and more rooms. But it's fine. Health nut, +1 maximum health. Not a huge buff, but it can actually save the day at times. Scorching Spoils. Defeat Embro's Rubber Ducky, apparently. Let's go. So, the quest this time is Defeat the Rubber Ducky. 10 health, Irritable 5, Aquatic 3. So, it's quite strong. I mean, it's a level 3 enemy. It could be problems. But we'll manage. Actually, can I just build... I want to build that downwards because I want to be able to go up and right to get this treasure chest here. And that's more problematic if I can't. Alternatively, I could go like this to the right. Now if I can get something that curves right from the bottom, then I can get in there. Bullhorns. I'm not sure why that was 2 physical damage then. Why did I get an extra physical damage? That's not... What? Huh? What? I'm confused. Very, very confused. Stage performance. Get a discard going. I don't remember what cards I have. I've probably got physical defense. Hell yeah, get out of here, Neurotoxin. But also get in here, Neurotoxin. Copycat, just block the damage, because they've got physical block. Don't have any magic blocks, so I can't prevent that. But I can throw... Let's go stage presence at and thrown at them. Oh, the extra point of damage there was because the spider is frail. Discard the drain. Physical damage attacks deal extra damage to the spider. Speaking of, Neurotoxin will deal 3 because I've got 1 bonus. The Sash. Growth 1, Swift 1. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll take the Sash. Time to see how dangerous a ghost can be, hey? Because I want to fight every turn, so let's find out. Copycat. Get the drain over here. My drain now. 2 magic damage, 1 magic block. Okay, shift it is. Oh boy! Okay. Let's go... Negates a little bit of the damage by using that drain. Okay, rekindle means we're going to break even here. And I can win using imaginary cannon. No, because the ghost is tenacious. Cannot die unless at 1 health at the start of the turn. But now it can die. Let's see here. I think one stupidity I can handle, so let's take that yellow snow cone. Gonna be a level 3 fight, huh? This is unfortunate, because I'm not confident I can beat either of these. I'll go for the basilisk. We will see how it goes. And if I lose, I lose. That's fine, because that's an important part of this game as well. 2 physical damage, 1 magic block. Okay, I guess I'm going for a physical attack. Also, this Ferocious is applied to the enemy's cards. So, if the enemy is dealing 3 or more damage, 3 or more physical damage, then it deals 1 extra. There's probably at least 1 card in their deck that does that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have this effect. I'm going to hold off on the bullhorns, because I don't really care about copying an anger. Instead, let's restore and get good health back. A net positive. Yeah, let's go Imaginary Cannon. And there it is. Savage, 3 physical damage plus 1 from Ferocious. I can block 1 of it and deal a bit of damage. And there's victory. Okay, Alpine Horn. Gives me Ferocious, but I don't think anything I've got really deals 3 damage, unless it's buffed up. So, Snowballs. Swift plus 1 and ranged. All physical attacks are quick, plus 1 damage if they were already quick. That's nice if I've got a lot of quick stuff. It's also nice if I've got a lot of physical stuff, because making them quick means I attack first, so a close fight where we're both at 1 hit from death means it would go to me. Or I can get Arcane 2. Let's go with the Snowballs. I've made it to level 4, heck yeah. So here's the thing, if I want to get into this, I'm not going to bother caring about super efficiency and getting all the treasure. I'm just going to go for it. Let's slap a basilisk there, and that'll do so. Oh, I can't play that curve anywhere, so let's just go. I could get a lot more out of each dungeon than I am currently, but doing that takes a lot more time, and like that's not what you want to see on a stream, right? So I'm being a bit careless. Yeah, ditch the drain. Thank you very much. I've got no physical damage in hand. How rude. Imaginary Cannon. This would not be successful, that would not be successful. Rekindle is my only option here. It heals me for 1, regardless of failing. Restore, go ahead. Oh, Oh, 2 physical block. Okay. Stage presence it is. I can try and make sure they don't get physical block next time. Get rid of that spook. And shift. Stab. I could lose the snowball effect to get Blade 2 for that decay, but also I probably shouldn't. I'm just going to skip. And opening the chest also gets me a piece of loot. Which I don't think I want any of this, so I'm going to skip again. And just can only travel 2 rooms at a time, so just take advantage of that pacing. Magic block, please. Don't let that guy get 2 health. Physical block. Don't make him don't let him discard a card from me. And now let's just use that against him. Heck yeah, big heals. I have no physical block, unfortunately. So that would deal 3, and it would be swift, so that would make Fury trigger, and Head Blow would deal an extra damage to me. That would also deal 2 and trigger Fury. Restore would not. Well, this is rude. Stage presence then. Get a discard in there. Sure. Makes no difference. And now... this one is swift and would deal 3 damage. There's the kill. Now, I don't have a hat, so the bone helmet could be nice. It gives me some extra draw options. The flintlock is interesting. I lose the ranged, but I gain fury. But also that's only for physical attacks, and it doesn't give me any physical skills. Alright, I think I take the bone helmet. Just slap a room down. Let's put something in this room just for the sake of fighting. And otherwise move on. Hey, Morgan! How are ya? Two physical damage. I've got no physical block right now. So let's just shift and get the draw going. Ah, home from D&D. How's the D&D doing ya? Oh, I am very much having fun with Guild of Dungeoneering. I'm streaming it a bit differently from how I play it in my own time, where normally I idle around, I lollygag, and just get as much gold as I can. But in this case I'm playing a bit faster. Unblockable, that's fine. Just make them discard. A short campaign that's kinda horror themed. Ooh, that was a lucky discard. Yeah, that's interesting. What do you mean when you say kinda horror themed? Like, is it like you're in a sort of spooky environment Or is it like going into the theme of there is something out there following you and you're trying to stay away from it? Hasn't got into the meat of horror yet. Okay. This, because I can survive... I can survive anything it throws at me, and then I can throw an unblockable. Yeah, a horror-themed D&D. I typically don't do too well with horror stuff. Like, I just don't do well with it. But... Ooh. Lose 1 health and the stupidity. That could be good. But yeah, the idea of a horror-themed D&D session or game does sound kind of interesting. I think I'll take the Warhorn. Slap a candlestick down there. Slap the rooms down for gold. Yeah, the D&D campaigns that I'm in are a lot less heavily themed than that. Like there's really no theme to discuss for them. I want to draw a card, yeah. Perfect timing for my imaginary box. Protect me from this head blow. Focus is a nice card to have. I can have +2 to my next magic attack now. Yeah, Holy Seal blocks that. I have so many cards. How much health do you have? 6? So if I throw out the interrupt, it'll drop you down to 4, and then the imaginary cannon will get the kill. Bada boom. No, because it got a heal off, and I didn't even look at its card. I could have prevented that. I could have prevented it. It's going to deal 3 damage, huh? I don't really have anything to deal with that, so I'm just going to restore. And now I get the kill. Hubris. Hubris and overconfidence. No. This gets me an extra swift. It loses the restore and the holy seal, though. I think having those options is more important than having Swift 3. And just because. Yeah, the guy won't even pick this up, but it's there. Rubber ducky, you're the one. Rubber ducky, you're so fun. Focus. More magic damage next time I use it. And a bit of healing and Let's go stage presence. Get a discard in there. No body slam for you. Where is my physical defense? Ah! Ah! What is that? A recycle one. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's only throwing magic defense out as well with the recycle. Oh, it makes me discard and draw. Okay. Can I just kill it with the interrupt here? Victory achieved.
Well, this is really just quite surprising. Aren't Dungeoneers just cannon fodder? But against all odds, they keep surviving. They're so dumb. Why even bother?
Laurel has gained another victory trait, resourceful. +1 hand size. That's very nice. I can now expand as well, so let's grab the curio shop. And as well as that, the leather worker, sure. Quest 3, Bath Bomb. Who dares invade the hot lair of the Lord Embro? Right in the middle of bath time too. Minions, destroy them. Bring me their bones. Embro attacks in 12 turns. So I can go fight Embro whenever I want. Like, so long as there's a path to them and I can reach them, I can fight them. At the end of 12 turns, they will immediately come and fight me, no matter where I am. I believe they will also lose the damp debuff if that happens. So they'll have their full 7 health rather than 4 from being damp. So it's essentially going to become a consideration of... let's go with the spider. I'm going to have to consider how much do I want to spend time grinding and becoming stronger, or getting to them to fight them while they still have that debuff. Stage presence. I'm probably going to wind up just trying to get stronger for the most part. Let's copycat this. But you know, I'll change it up for once and see if I can get in there after a bit of grinding, but before he comes after me, right? Imaginary box. Probably should have saved the imaginary box for a neurotoxin or something, but eh. Stage presence. Let's go. Get rid of that swoop. Please draw a magic block. Nope. It is going to heal, so I'm going to just make this a net 0 turn. And imaginary cannon wins the fight. early fights in the dungeons never become negligible. You always have to have some care. Yeah, let's go for Swift. Okay, I can fight a zombie. After that I'll be able to fight the bear owl, because I'll be level 3. Copycat, block some of the damage, buff up my next physical. Holy Sea Hill, don't let it heal. Okay. Drain will negate some of the damage and deal a bit so that its self-damage triggers decay. That's nice. It's got physical block right now. It's dealing magical damage, so stage presence it is. Get rid of darkness, okay. Bullhorns. Full block, gets good damage. And a swift attack will do it. I guess the cooking pot is okay. Yep, okay. Will not be dry until another 10 turns have passed. Only rooms I've got go sideways, and they're dead ends, but that's okay. This is as much as I can really achieve. I'm probably not going to be grabbing that level 4 treasure chest. It would still only contain like level 2 or 3 items, I think. But that's fine. Let's go with Fire Blast to start things off, get some good damage in. Imaginary box, no discard. Okay. If I deal physical damage right now, it won't drop below half health. Please discard Restore, thank you very much. Oh, I've got some magical block actually. Let's do 3 damage right now. Can I get a quick attack? No. But I win anyway. Hurts, but I'll... Okay, Growth 1, Arcane 2, but stupid. Or Fire up to 2, Holy up to 2, and Fire 1. That would replace the cooking pot, so I guess I don't really want this. Okay, Warhorn it is. Oh, that poor bear owl. His least favourite minion. Okay, so I've got 9 turns. 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, I've got plenty of time. That buff is actually pretty nice to have against the boss. So, if I place this here, Goon will go there. So, I kind of want to... I am afraid of this fire elemental, so I'm going to fight a bear owl instead. So I should have time to go back, grab this well fountain, and then go up and fight the boss. And I'll keep that fountain effect so long as I don't fight anything else. Which, like, it's not ideal to not fight anything else, but the fountain buff is the fountain buff, right? And it's a pretty good buff as well. Block that. I'd be fighting the boss without chest armor unless one of these two enemies gives it to me. So that's something to consider. But I think I would be able to manage it. Just get it down to 1. And a swift attack. There we go. A snowman head, yes, excellent. Gives me more defense. That could be very nice. The flintlock? I mean, I lose the holy 2, but I gained fire 3 and fire 4. Plus, ignite just does a magic damage per round. Flintlock looks real nice right now. Okay, I'll take that. And I'll just slap some rooms together. Nets me a little bit of extra gold. And here we go. Set this man on fire, Mr. Mime. And I've won. That poor bandit. Yeah, okay. So, getting Tenacious from the wooden shield is real cool, but also I've got no body arm and body slot equipment right now, so this is just a flash improvement. Now I just have to hope I actually get a room that connects upwards. Oh god, I've got no loot either, so this guy's just gonna go explore the new rooms. Alright, fine, I'll throw an enemy there for you to fight. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown enemies down. The fountain's useless now. Oh well. Let's just slap another room down anyway. Hopefully I'll actually get some treasure that I can use to lure this guy to the boss. So if I ignite right now, that'll deal 2 rather. Then Firestorm deals 4, and the ignite will deal a 5th. No? Yes. Okay. Just had to wait a moment. And I don't think I want any of this. Yeah, no. Okay. And that means I've got loot. And a room that can get me in there. I put the fountain down. It's a good fountain. The boss was saying stuff, I didn't even pay attention. Unblockable attacks gain 1 magical damage. Sure. Put that in there so that I can make sure my guy prioritizes that. He's going through the unsearched room. Ah. Fine. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I should have enough time to actually get to the boss. Bash. Holy Seal. The Seal of Orichalcos. Sure, repel. Just block everything. Block everything and hurt them a bit. And then, unless they get magic block, they didn't. Firestorm. Send you to hell. So you can see the high level skills do a lot for you. They become real valuable. Yeah, I think I can skip again. Might as well put this down there. Oh, that can go there as well, because it'll stop here and then stop there, and regardless. And let's slap down a room for some more gold. Barrel, unblockable. So let's just firestorm the bastard. No healing for you. Two unblockable. I can deal 1 and heal for 2, so that negates this turn for from them. And then I can murder them with the imaginary cannon, because why not? Do I want any of this? I would lose fire 4, but +1 to all healing. No. And no. Okay, skip that. Okay, this should be fine.
Oh.
Gonna get to the boss a couple of turns early, which is ideal, I'd say. The best case would probably just be arriving the turn that he would lose that damp debuff. But so long as I get there at all. And ditch that swipe. And die. Again, I doubt I want any of this. Yeah. Let's just slap some rooms down for the little bit of gold it'll earn me, and boss fight time. He does have... Okay, so he still has 7 health, meaning the damp actually showed on the map. So he would have had 10 health otherwise. This is still quite intimidating though. Okay, he's got 7 health. I could deal... hang on. I can deal 5 right now. He's dealing 3. I mean, I've got a full block, right? It's too much to ignore that. 3 magical. this time I Firestorm and bring him down to 1 already. Oh, this poor boss. I let him kill himself here, I think. This cannot be.
Here's to you, young Dungeoneer. You stood your ground and acted very brave. But how long before you feel the fear? And how long before you're in your grave?
So, we got Embro's Towel as a trophy, and we have unlocked We All Scream for Ice Cream, and None Shall Pass. I'm pretty surprised that we've made it this far without actually having any characters die. I might have to let someone die just to show that off. First though, let's get the worker. And do I want to get... Let's get the apprentice. I basically never use this guy. Let's see how it actually goes. And if anyone's going to die, it'll be him.
A practical student who's always prudent, yet very pretentious and conscientious. Another nuisance for our amusement. I give to you an apprentice.
Okay, let's take the apprentice into a dungeon next. So this mime, Larel, they have 2 victory traits, which is cool. Losing them would be kind of unfortunate. But it'll happen at some point, anyway. It's something that just has to be accepted.
It's so hot I could scream. You could scream. We all could scream. For ice cream.
It's a heat wave. This is awful. I'm sitting here in a puddle of my own sweat. At least I hope it's sweat. There's more than a hint of morgue in the air. Some older townsfolk are keeling over from exhaustion and dehydration. Fire demons are running rampant in the outer villages. Worst of all, I can't even get my favourite ice cream. It's so unfair. Why does everything bad happen to me? The ice cream monks are apparently having some troubles of their own. If I'm going to get my super cherry bubblegum double scoop, I better send a chump to see what's going on. The orb will just have to wait. So that's what the one of the new dungeons we've unlocked is. Just going and getting ice cream. But for now, let's go to goblins. And we'll take the apprentice. For the moment though, taking a quick hydration break. All of you remember to hydrate as well. Okay. So this one is another just defeat 4 monsters dungeon type. Shouldn't be too difficult, but we'll see. The apprentice is very magic focused and, well, fighting physical enemies could be problems for them. Like, I have no way to deal with the neurotoxin here. I just got an achievement. Spoiled for choice. Is my entire deck is in my hand right now. Okay. Let's go with a Fire Blast. And a Fire Blast. Oh, I've never even considered that happening before. Okay, Woolly Hat would give Stupidity, Slice and Bash from the Axe. Incoming magical attacks deal +1 damage. I think everything here does physical, so that wouldn't be too bad. Sure, boilerplate. Slap down some rooms and put a kobold back there. This nerd just said something and I have no clue what it was. It was something in some other language. Hydrate before you dihydrate. Yes, Morgan, indeed. Normally I'm really good about hydration. Like, I'll normally go through like 3 litres in a day. Lately I've been less good about it. So I do need to actually try and make sure I keep on top of that. Zip. I just need to make sure I'm consistently drinking a little bit of water, and everyone else should too, because it's important for your health. Fire and Arcane too, that seems pretty nice. Yes, and a Ratman, sure. And slap a room. Focus. Cancels out their damage, lets me draw, and buffs my next attack. This is building up to be silly. Okay, I'll just heal through that and draw 2. Can't really do anything about that one, let's just keep drawing cards. And there's a Flame Lash for the kill. Heck yeah. I think I'll take the Scimitar here. Blade 2 is pretty nice. Doesn't really matter because the next monster I defeat is going to end this quest, so just slap a couple rooms down and end turn. So I kind of expected the apprentice to struggle more here, but they've done fairly well for themselves. The healing and draw has been quite more effective than I expected. Sure, let's just dice them up. There's decay. Zap with their self-damage. Oh, okay, there we go. I forgot I had a...
Do you have any decency, I wonder? Like the Ivory League of Explorers. Instead you pillage and plunder and rip everything asunder. You're just a reckless bunch of marauders.
Oblivious. Start with +1 stupidity. Stupidity gains block 1 any. Makes it a not useless card. Gear up for a big fight. Steal the treasure. Okay. Well, only place I can put that down is over there. Let's try fighting a kobold. Okay, let's just intuition this, heal a little bit of the damage and draw some good cards, please. Fire Blast. Mind Strike, and then I've got the quick attack to finish it off. Zup. The Troll Femur. Stupidity, but Crush 2 and Growth 1. Not awful with the trait making Stupidity and block 1 any. Rope just gives me +1 hand size. Fork is Blade 1, Cuppa is Fire 2. Let's go with the Troll Femur. Skeleton here, gold pouch, and a pathway. Now, how is the skeleton fight going to go? Skeletons have Brittle. Taking 3+ damage in one turn causes 2 extra. So it's sort of a step up from Decay, where it takes an extra damage to trigger it, but it also deals an extra. I'm going to throw out a Stupidity card here for the block. No healing for you. I probably can't take advantage of the Brittle because I don't think I've got any way to consistently deal... Ooh, okay. No, here I can deal 3 because they'll deal 1 for themselves and I can deal the extra 2. Lovely. And I will survive the damage, so just get the kill. Fire 2, Arcane 2, Holy 1. That's a nice robe. Growth 2, Armor 1. Fire 2, Holy 1. Yep, Mage Robes it is. Who would have thought Mage Robes are a good choice for the magic character? Keep building out that path. Rekindle to start, negate the damage they'll deal. Sure, Focus also negates the damage they deal. And buffs me up some. And Fire Blast. Boom. No healing for you. They're getting 2 damage in. So that's going to be successful no matter what. Drop them to 1 so I can just hope I can draw something that deals damage. And I did. The Winged Staff brings me up to Arcane 3, Holy 2 and Holy 3. Ditches the low level stuff I have, but it brings my focus stuff up higher. Yeah, okay. If I can get that Mariner's Amulet as well, it would be pretty cool, but I mean, no point holding my breath. And I'll put a room down over there. I could have filled out enemies along the way, but I'll keep drawing more enemies. I might as well only place them as needed. Yeah, Holy Seal here. Blocks it and gets me an extra health. Just hope I don't discard the Blinding Light. Okay, that's cool. And now I Blinding Light to heal too. I'm just being rude to this guy. Barrage. Ooh. That's a big hit. Too bad you won't get to use it. Snowman Head gives defenses. Feathered Cap gives growth. Ooh. This gets me up to Arcane 4. Yeah. I don't think I need more draw though, do I? The growth gives me both healing and damage. The Arcane 4 would be healing and draw. Card draw, so I don't really need card draw right now. Focus. And a restore for some big heals. So the equipment I've got here has sort of hit a point where this dungeon's enemies aren't too threatening. I don't even have an offhand. The magic conch. Arcane 4 stupidity, sure. Okay.
Aha.
Very good, very good. Yeah, get me that draw. Let's just go for a big hit right off the bat. Well, I guess it's not right off the bat since I started with the card draw. But I believe I've already got this battle won. Yep, there it is. Fire Blast kills. And growth +2 does lose me Holy 3 and Fire 2. Why isn't it showing me losing the Arcane from the robe though? Like the Wolf Pelt doesn't give +1 Arcane. And I'm pretty sure the arcane is the important thing on this robe. I'll pass, I guess. Like, that shows me losing the arcane 4. Why isn't this? The wolf pelt would not give me arcane. The mage robes do. I'm just going to be smart and not take that. Okay. This, though, I do lose the arcane. But also, all healing gets +1, and I've got other healing sources. Plus this, well, block all magic isn't that important, but it's a 3 damage hit, so I'm going to take this. And let's throw a bear owl. An owl bear in here. Nope, bear owl. That had it right the first time. I'm going to have to fight 1 to finish this quest, so I might as well fight 2. Start with intuition. Holy seal, heal 2 per blocked. Blinding light. I'm just messing with this thing. Let's go for Mind Strike, so I'll draw something back. Did I have a physical block from... Did I have that stupidity? I don't know. I don't think I want it to heal for 2. And now let's go focus. Restore for a big heal. This is just absurd. I cannot block, so let's just... I kind of want to see what happens if I get 2 full... Like, if I get an achievement when I get 2 full rows. So I'm going to delay on killing it. Oh, it wouldn't have killed anyway with that heal. I'm not drawing any heals anymore. Okay, fine. Just barrage. It would have been funny to see if I could actually get all that health, but it's fine. I could get Arcane 4 instead of Growth 1 and 2. Why is it not showing? Okay. I'm realizing why it's not showing things sometimes. This would give me Holy +2, but my Holy skill is already at 4. And I guess 4 is just as high as as the skill can go. So I wouldn't gain anything from that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I pass on this. Just skip it. I mean, I don't need to think about all the optimal decisions. I'm about to win this anyway. Like, this dungeon is won. Unless my hubris really backfires. Don't really care about blocking all magic, because it rarely does magic damage. And there's a win. Sure, now I'll take it so that I transfer the old loot into some gold, I guess. Boomerang. Gotta wreck that Australian bloodline.
Here's to you, young Dungeoneer. You stood your ground and acted very brave. But how long before you feel the fear? And how long before you're in your grave?
Start with growth +1. This apprentice now starts with they start with the 3 main magic stats, all at level 1, which is pretty cool. I think I'll get the final.
Up until now, we've all had some fun, and you could say you've come very far. But brace yourself for some woeful cat puns. Now that we have a cat burglar. Meow.
Okay, so I've unlocked the final tier 1 Dungeoneer. Saving up 750 gold for anything tier 2 seems unlikely, but I'm not going to... I won't buy the other blessings. So we'll see if I get lucky and manage to save up that much. Sure, let's bring the cat burglar. I kind of want to show off what happens when a character dies sooner or later. Defeat the Orc Warlord. He's not going to come to me, and he is predictable. Top card of the monster's deck is Face Up. Okay, there is a negative buff here, huh? But, okay, there's no treasure in his room. So if I go in here and then to either of the sides using treasure as bait, it would expend that debuff on that fight. There are also side entrances. So if I had a room that had side I could access from the side, that would also be a way to get to him. Yeah, let's just heal off that damage and build up power. Throw cat. Oh. The poor cat. Swift 1 or Swift 1 and Growth 1. Yeah, take them Sash. And this, and I'm not sure, might as well. Okay, catnip heals the damage I've taken. They're also healing over their starting health, so that's irritating, but we will be fine. I hope. Okay, let's negate a bit of the damage. I should have this. Okay, I can heal that off. And there it is. Bit closer than I would have liked from that fight, but that's alright. Okay, that gives me some magic options. This gives me defense options, though. Yep, taking the armor from the stalagmite. Or was that stalactite? Oh. Either way. Sure, let's throw a scorpion down here and cross section up there. Heal and buff, as is the way. Oof, that's rude. Get a bit more healing in. Shift, I guess. Just throw a cat at it. Oh, the sound effects are so good. Okay, that's okay. I don't have a weapon yet, so that could be good, but also this makes physical attacks swift. Oh, yeah, quick rather, and makes quick attacks better, so snowballs it is. Barrel. Sure, let's see if this is a good fountain. It is. See if this is a good fountain. I didn't get to see. It's not. Okay. So, let's hope I can tell the character to go round to the left. Okay. Catnip. Throw the cat. Shift to get some extra draw, but I don't think it's needed, because I should have lethal here with the scratch. Yeah, okay. Block. Two cards that block all is nice. Let's get another fight. Yeah, scorpion, sure. In here. I am going to skip the loot from fighting the scorpion. Use that loot to go to the left. And hopefully I'll be able to get the character to go to the fountain before fighting the boss. Oh no, doesn't matter, that just gives predictable. He already has that. So, just as long as I can fight something to get rid of the debuff, it'll be fine. Catnip. Oh. I am now a snowman throwing snowballs. Excellent. Yeah, just scratch it. I've got no magic block there, so it's getting through. Okay, shield wall it is. Bit of a waste of a block all physical, but still. It's also +2 physical damage. Brace, I guess. Draw. stealing 3, but I'll survive, so just shift. And throw it, and finish it off by throwing a cat. That cat didn't even make a noise. I do need to skip here. I could grab the snowman body, but I need to skip here so that I can direct the character left. What was the debuff even? Stupidity +2. Yeah, I very much want to not have that. And just slap down some rooms. Noel is only level 2, so it probably won't have any huge cards. So I can afford to use the repel to just block 1 there so that I don't discard. Counter. Big smack. And that's victory. I doubt I want any of this. Yeah, no. Okay. I should have put a room down instead of that scorpion, but whatever. Also, the map explored maybe when the character moves rather than when I place a room. I'm not certain. More water, my throat is getting dry. Okay, looks like I'm throwing a cat. It has, so it has stopped with the sound effect of the cat. Looks like it's smart enough to not spam it out so often that it gets irritating. That's nice to see. No. 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 And let's get this dungeon over with. Ooh, that's a big hit right off the start. Brace. Block it all. He's got a big 3 hit coming up next. That's unblockable anyway, so catnip. Catnip. Keep buffing up. If I can only block 1 or heal 1, I might as well get the buff as well. Bash. I think he's got 1 more health than me right now. Counter. He no longer has the advantage, but it's still close. Oh boy. He's doing nothing this turn. Next turn, he will deal 2 and block 1 physical. That is fine, because I have an unblockable attack. So pounce. Ouch, you knocked my teeth out. And we get the teeth.
A Dungeoneering marvel. You really are improving.
But please do try to be ever so careful. Winning is so close to losing.
So, Anna has got the Fire Starter victory trait, so she starts with Fire skill. And we've unlocked the Evil Lich Dungeon. We have 25 minutes before the stream ends. So, what I'm going to do is throw myself into the the newest dungeon that we've found. Hang on. Okay, these are, I believe, the stars under the, here where my mouse is. I believe the number of stars show the dungeon difficulty. I can see there's 3 stars on this, 2 on these over on the left. So I'm going to throw myself into a dungeon with the chump and just let the chump die. To even accelerate that, I will turn off the +1 health. So I need to defeat 4 undead, which I believe any of these count as. Poltergeist, skeleton, yeah, and probably everything here counts as undead. So let's see if I can die to the living cactus. It might just lose anyway, even if I don't want to win. If I hit right now, it dies. And now it kills me. Okay, so with this, I can show off character death.
Quite an amusing display of courage and heroics. But alas, we must forgo hooray, because in the end, you've blown it.
So, Chump died. I still got the gold for progress in the dungeon. Like, there's not that much to note, but it's still all there, and plus we died very quickly. And this is the first character we've had die, so the graveyard is unlocked. The graveyard, I will place down here, unlocks the gravedigger.
Not just here to hide the bodies. They can accomplish something much bigger. Just give them a shovel, they'll dig up the loot. Sit back and behold the gravedigger.
So, it will take some time for a new chump to show up. So if a character of one of your classes dies, you'll have to wait a bit before another one becomes available. You'll have to at least enter a dungeon with a different class. The graveyard, you can see characters who have passed, but more importantly, the gravedigger, A, they have some decent cards, B, they have the grave looter trait, borrows an item from a dead Dungeoneer and keeps it for the rest of their runs. I probably should have gotten that guy that I got killed something to equip first, because I don't know if someone dying with loot after this will let the gravedigger get something, or if they just don't get anything from that trait now. But yeah, so that the graveyard is actually a functional and useful building or room in your guild. Okay, so we have about 20 minutes before I would normally end the stream, but my voice has been getting a bit rather sore, so I'm going to call it here. And do. There we go. So, if you have enjoyed the stream and want to be given alerts when I'm going to go live, I have a Discord server where those alerts can be found, as well as a Twitter account. The VODs on Twitch only last for about a week, so I upload them onto YouTube. Generally it takes me a couple of days to get them uploaded, because I sort of have to process them first and then upload them, but they go up there a bit after I've streamed, and that just keeps all the VODs available for posterity. And that is that. So I'm going to quickly have a look and see if anybody else happens to be playing the Guild of Dungeoneering. No, not at all. Okay. Is anyone I know streaming? No. Okay, so we're just going to fade into oblivion then. Yep, okay. Thank you all very much for being here with me today. Have a good one.